Welcome to Codocrux. I am Gandharva.
And I am Bhavish, and today we will look at another problem. So this problem is basically a very interesting problem. This is about list, but we will first see the prerequisite for the problem. So list is a data structure in Python which will be used. So data structure means it just stores data. See, this is a data and this is a integer data type. It can even store strings and it can even store integers and strings both as well in the same list. This is a feature of list in Python. So what I want you to know here is, if you don't, that indexing starts from zero. Like this element one is zeroth element of list. Like in computer, most of you might know that counting mostly starts from zero. So even in arrays from other languages, the counting starts from zero. So like this is the zero, this is one. Now why we care so much about the counting? The reason being that we have to access these elements in the future. It's a pretty simple concept. I just want you to know this is the zeroth, this is the first, second, third, and this is a data structure which just stores these numbers. Okay, so now we will take a look at the puzzle.
Yes, coming to the problem statement is given a list of integers and an integer target such that any two numbers in the array add up to the target. So now do not get confused by the word array over here. Array is nothing but a list. In Python, an array is called as a list, whereas in many other languages such as C, C++, they call this kind of data structure as an array. So it's nothing but simply a list considered in Python. So now talking about the problem statement and implementing its solution, let us consider this list as a target. So what the problem wants is, suppose we introduce a target element such as, let us suppose it is k, like let it be k is a number such that any two numbers from the list should add up to k. So suppose if I take k equal to 4, so now which two numbers add up to 4? I mean, which, how many such combinations, or what are those combinations that add up to 4? So these are 1 comma 3 adds up to 4. Second one is 2 comma 2 adds up to 4, and the third one is 3 comma 3. 3 comma 1, sorry, 3 comma 1 adds up to 4. So these combinations should be the output. Moreover, we want the index as well as our output. So what is the index for this problem, for this combination? It is 1 is at the 0th place and 3 is at the second place. So the index should be 0 and 2. Similarly, what will be the index for 2 comma 2? As 2 is at the first place, the index will be 1 and 1, because this index corresponds to this element and this index corresponds to this element. Similarly, this corresponds to this element, and for this element it corresponds to, I mean, this is the index, 2 is the index of the element 3. So similarly over here, the index should be displayed as 2 and 0. The index of the leftmost element is displayed first and the right element is displayed as second. All cool up till now? Now, this was the case when k was present in the list. As you all can see that k was 4 and 4 was there in the list. Now, many coding tests have taken this problem as in their test, and many coding websites or many coding puzzle websites even have published this problem. So, what is the other condition in the problem? We will take a look at both, because Codocrux here provides you with both the solutions so that you may appear for any test and you would be passed out perfectly. So now, what if suppose k is not present in the list? Let us consider that k is equal to 6. So similarly, for 6 as well, as you can see in the list, there are elements that add up to the number 6. Those are 3, comma 3 and 2, comma 4 and 4, comma 2. Yes, basically, wait, 2 comma 3 should be earlier and 3 comma 3 should be below it. So what I mean is, let me just clean the stuff. What I mean is, it should have been 2 4 3 3 and 4 2. And in the same case, we should get index of the respective elements. So what are the index? The indexes for both, I mean for all these three combination are, it's 1 3, it is 2 2, and it is 3 1. This is 2, okay? Yep. So we will be looking at the solution for both the cases. But there is one more case, which basically this case is the part of the second case only. That is, what if k is equal to 57 or any such big number. So no combination is possible, because as you can see, none of the element from the list or no two elements from the list add up to 57. Basic or the maximum input or the maximum value of k for the condition to be true should be 8. The only combination possible is 4 and 4. Now we will look at the coding part of it.
Okay, now let us take a look at the code. So first we will declare a number, which will be the size of the list which we have seen. In previous case, the size of the list was 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 was the length. So that will be an integer. We will take an input from the user.
Enter number of element in the list. So this would be the statement for entering the number.
We will beforehand declare a list in which we have to take the numbers from the user. Now I will show you how to take the numbers from the user. We will use a for loop. For loop basically iterates to all the elements. You might be familiar with this.
Yes, so basically the I over here, as you all can see, that for I. So I is nothing but it is a, I mean, you may say it as a pointer which points to every element in the list. So let me consider a list as 1, comma 2, comma 3, and 4. So in our case, I will be 1, then I will be 2, then I will be 3, and then I will be 4. Yep.
Yeah, so actually I will be in range, a range of number. If number length is, for example, 4. So what range does is, range starts from 0. So what the array you had seen in the right, it will be the index of it. So 0, once I would be 0, then it would be 1, then will be 2. So like that. So here you can see that.
Yep. So
This
0,
is the index.
1, 2, and 3. This is what my friend Bhavesh is talking about.
Yeah, so this I would be that 0, 1, 2, 3. And you can see this is a list, and this I, passing this I is a way to access that element. Append is a method. Notice the difference. When it is for an object, it is a method. When it is different, when it is a function, that's different. So this is a method here. It just adds the elements which we will get into that num list. And this we are taking an integer, so we have written integer and input. I understand for few of you, this might be a big syntax, but break it down, it's basically very easy.
Yeah, so you all can look at the code as a part. I mean, like you can break it into parts and then study it. So it would be easy for you.
Yes. Now we will take an integer from the user, basically the number of whose sum we have to find. The number. Yes. So basically, we have written all the getting the data from the user and stuff. Now we have to actually implement the code and find which numbers add up. So what I will do, like we have seen in the explanation earlier, that maybe the target is in the list or maybe it is not. And you have seen this. This would be helpful for coding problems. So we will first see if the target is in the list. Then what we will do, we will create a nested for loop, 2 for loops. We will see its execution in a minute. No worries. Wait, typo there. Gandharva, would you just take through the syntax?
Yeah, Bhavesh, line number 14, it should be J or any other variable
Yeah, yeah.
for that matter, any other counter point. Yep. So, yep. So now over here, my friend has written len. So this is nothing but length, and length means the size of the array. So if the array is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, this is our num list. Let us suppose this is a demo num list. So the length will be 4 because it contains 4 elements. So simply length is the number of elements present in a specific list or a specific array. And over here, the logic or the why we have created two for loops. So basically nested for loop is because when, as you all saw, I is 0, 1, 2, and 3. Similarly, J will also be 0,
The
1,
same values.
2, and 3.
Yeah.
But when I is 0, J will be checking all the values. Like when I will be 0, J will go on to check all the 4 values. So it will be 0, it will be 1, it will be 2, and it will be 3 because the loop for loop J, I mean this for loop, is under the parent for loop.
Yeah, so this is outer for loop. So when this runs all the time, completes all its executions, then this for loops one execution completes. So like for this 0 of yellow written in the right, this bottom 0, 1, 2, 3 all will happen. Then this would be shift to 1 in the yellow, and then again 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, this is J, and these all are for I. So similarly,
Now
when it is 1, again those 4 conditions will be checked. This
yes.
will go
So
on.
why do we need to do this?
Yep.
We need to do this because we have to check all the cases, right? All the possibilities of the number adding with itself, this number adding with all other numbers. So that's why we require a nested for loop. This syntax is pretty common in even other array and list operations. So I suggest you might even go through it once with a pen and paper if you're not familiar.
Yes, sure. So now we would be printing the location of elements or basically the index of the elements.
Yes. We
Location
have
over
seen
here.
that it matches. So now we will print just the location.
Yeah. So I comma J are the indexes, as Bhavesh already told you that we are initializing the for loop, two for loops, by passing I and J into the for loops, which are nothing but the indexes of the element of the list. And what he's writing on line number 17 is nothing but num list I and num list J. So these are the ways to fetch an element from a list. So basically num list, let us say that num list 0. Num list 0 would give us 1. Okay, let me just change the color so that it looks more good. Yeah. So num list 0, or let us say num list 1. So num list 2 would give the element 2. Similarly, num list, if I say num list 3, it would give the element, or it would fetch the element 4 for us.
Because indexing starts with 0.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have to see at the second case, like if target is not in num list. So this is the second case.
Yeah. Colon.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Now I just want to tell you, right? We will first print whether do you still want to find the combinations possible. Like in some, I have told you, right, that in some coding puzzles, they just say that if the element is there present in the array, then only the elements which add to that element, we want that output. But if like you can see by the syntax, right, if target is not in num list, just don't do anything. But we will ask the user if you still want the combinations possible, we will print it for you, or we won't.
So at
So
line number 20, we will first say, or we will just we'll declare that the number or the target is not present in the list, so that we will make the user aware that whatever you have entered is not, I mean, the data is not present in the list you have specified earlier. But still, if you want the data close to it, or the data that matches, I mean, the number that adds to those number, you may take it from here. So over
okay,
here,
right. Now
run
we'll
is nothing but a
yes,
variable. Yes, Bhavesh.
yes. Run is a variable, and I just want to ask if you still want the output. So this is the syntax for that. Gandharva will get you through it.
Yes. So now run is a variable, and over here, as you all can see, we have written, or Bhavesh has written str. So str is nothing but string. So string input. Over here, we will be looking at the string input. Basically, we want user to write yes or no. So if he or she still wants the output, they may write yes, or if they don't want, they may simply write as no, y or n. Yeah, as you all can see, we have written here. The choice is whether y or whether n. Now, coming to the line number 22 over here, as you all can see, let me just clean, yeah, so that it would look more good. So now, if run is equal to y, what it means is that if the user input or the string or the value entered by the user is y, then go for the following condition. The condition will be written by Bhavesh.
It would be actually the same condition that we have above. So I hope you won't mind me copy pasting it. It is actually the same condition. We just now want to find whether the addition of target elements, like which elements add up to target, are present. I would just get you through the code once again because we are writing it again. Uh, so what I will do is, if I is in range, and if j is in range, we have seen that these are two indexes which start from 0. If they are the elements, see here we access the elements, and if these both add to the target, then just print those indexes. Yeah. So this is the same code as we have seen previously. I will just clear my markings. And okay, now I will start typing. Now let's run our code actually. Okay. Um, and now the first it is asking is, how many number of elements do you want in the list? We will take our list which we have seen whole program. So
Bhavesh,
4.
do you mind writing a break statement after all the if conditions?
Sorry.
It is showing some error at line number 8. Let us just check what is the code written at line number 8.
Num list dot append.
No, I don't think it should give any problem. Yes.
Just check.
No, num list dot I cannot be. I mean, just delete this part. This part.
Which one?
This part.
Yes.
I part. That's not the correct way to write.
That's not required actually. Yes.
Yes, because it is
Even
understood
the
by the
thing is,
user, by the computer.
yeah,
Sorry. Yes.
what append does is it just add it to the list. It just add it to the list. So irrespective of, this is an empty list. Okay. I will just clear it for the viewers. But this is an empty list. Okay. Cool. So now what we will do is we will just append the elements that we get in the user to the num list. So this is an empty list. So whatever elements will come, this will go it in 1. For example, 1 was added. Now again, user will give it because it was a for loop. Again, we will add it, and likewise, this would be updated. Okay. My apologies on that errors. Now we will.
Yeah.
add
Apologies to all.
elements. Maybe, I didn't run it again. Okay, just working.
Yeah.
We will take the list which we always did. Now the
Enter the
number which
target.
we had taken in. Yeah, so that is 4. So you can see that first the location, first we add the numbers. 1 and 3 add up to 4, right? 2 and 2 add up to 4, right? 3 and 1 add up to 4, right? Now 1 and 3 indexes is 0 and 2. Indexing starts from 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So indexing is right. 1 is the 0th element and 3 is the 2. And likewise, you can check for other elements. Now, just a short note I would like to add at the end is, what if you don't want the same elements to add up to 4? Like in some competitions or in some puzzles, I've seen that they don't want 2 plus 2, 4, this condition to be printed. They want only this individual different numbers to be printed. How would you tackle it? So doing that, we just have to go here. We just have to go where we check whether the element adds up to target and just say if num list of I is equal to num list j, then just continue for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what continue does? Continue is actually a keyword in Python which just continues that loop. Looks very obvious, right? But it means that it won't run below this. Like for that execution, the below part won't be run. Just it would again go up in this statement, and the other condition would be printed. Like if I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 1, so this continue, it will be occurred. So this won't be run, and again it will go here, and j will be incremented to 2, and so now it will go on. Now I and j are not equal.
And break over here is simply, over here break is
Actually,
simply
break
it
is not
stops.
required.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
stops.
it's not required.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. Okay. The error occurred. That's why. Actually, yeah, it does not required. We will just add it below too. Oof.
Now we will also show you the case when it is the element is outside the array. Like we had taken 1, 2, 3, 4, and the target element was 6. So we'll take target element as 6. Yes.
Now it asks is not present. So do you want to say yes? We want to. Now, okay. So now it is showing
3 is
2 and 4
eliminated.
Yeah, 3 was also possible. You can see 3 is not done. 3 plus 3 is 6. So index 2 should have been present. But as we have added this condition, that when the two elements are equal, like num list I and num list both I and j are equal, that time you just continue for that iteration, and we don't want those cases. So to just sum up, what we saw in the code, that we have to add two numbers to a target variable. There are cases which may happen, but I hope you have got a good grasp of it after so many cases that we saw. And yeah, Gandharv, continue.
Yes. Well, that was all about CodeoCrux for this video. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more awesome and brain teasing content so that you all will get puzzled and increase your coding skills for sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you have any doubt, like there were a bit improvisation here and there, and if you have any doubt, if you make changes on yourself and you comment it, I would surely
feel free.
reply to it.
We'll surely reply to your comments.
Comment.
Feel free to contact us. Yes, thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you.